Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
When to hold them and when to spend them. Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Wilkness here with Anita Joyce, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today, we're talking about when to save and when to splurge. What we do on this podcast is we educate you, while we're even educating ourselves or each other, about what quality is, what you should be looking for in your decor items, your foundational pieces, and we also give you lots of tips on how you can get things for less. Today, we're going to be talking about the specific items that you should really put your dollars into and the things that you can kind of get away with spending a lot less on. You want to start with save or splurge, or you want to mix it up and keep them on their toes, Anita?
Well, I have my splurges first and then my don't splurge list next.
Interesting. I wonder if that's a personality thing, because I have my saves first and my splurges next, kind of like dessert. But okay.
Okay. Well, I do like dessert first. So.
Yeah. So let's do dessert first. So let's start with a good splurge. What would you splurge on?
Well, it's not a decor item, but it's something that you can easily replace. I say easily. And that's your front door. Especially if you don't like the way the front of your house looks. This is something that is a lot easier to change than the whole front of your house. This is something that guests see coming in. This is where the first impressions are made. So I think it's really nice to have a very nice front door.
Wow. I would not have thought of that. That is a great idea. I think a front door really does make a big impact and can change really the whole look of your whole home. Your door is gorgeous, the craftsman style, and it so suits your home. And mine is original to the house, so that really suits my house too. But I think that's such a good idea. I wouldn't have thought of that. When we're saying splurge, we really mean something you should feel comfortable investing some money in, because it's hard to get the great value, the great look, the real feel of it when you spend less. And I think top of my list has to be drapery. It is, right? Mm-hmm. It is really hard to get good looking drapery that's inexpensive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Even mid-priced, it might not be lined, it's not going to hang right. You know how we love bare windows. I'd even go with bare windows if I couldn't afford the really good draperies that are going to fall right, that the fabric's going to be luscious, that you're going to have the proper type of lining. And lining isn't necessarily just for privacy or a blackout. It really makes the drape look so much better when it's hanging. So that's something that if you couldn't afford it right away, I would maybe go either super, super cheap. So then hey, this is temporary. I'm going to take these things off.
Then just don't even hang them.
As soon as I can get them. Or, do the drop cloth. Do something that's not going to cost you much at all. And save your money and do the right type of fabric. And maybe have a custom company come and do it, or Smith & Noble or the Shade Store.
You are so right. Well-made drapes are definitely important for making sure that it doesn't look cheap. And there are so many places now where you can get nice ready-made curtains that you couldn't get 10 years ago. So there are a lot of options now for ready-made.
I believe a great sofa should also be in this category. Now, depending on where you are in your life, if it's your first apartment or if you've got little kids, you have to balance that with, where you are in your life and who you're living with at the time and how messy they may or may not be. But if you have the opportunity to invest in a great sofa and it's the time in your life to do that, that's a place where you should be putting some dollars, because you're not going to get a quality sofa that's going to last a long time and going to hold up up and look good 10 years or more down the line if you're buying something that is really inexpensive. IKEA is great, but, it is sort of throwaway furniture. And we all know that, you have to take it for what it is. So if you do have some money in your budget, I think a place to put it is the sofa. And there are so many things that you should be looking for when you're purchasing a sofa. We have an episode all about purchasing a sofa. I think it's even specifically purchasing a sofa online, so we can link that here. And we talk about in that episode all the things that you need to be looking for: dried kiln wood, all the joinery, the type of foam or down wrap foam that you should be looking for, and all of that. So we'll link that in the show notes here, and you can get a really good idea of at least what you should be looking for when you're purchasing a sofa. And then you'll also understand why a good sofa costs more.
I slip covered mine myself, so it's one that I've had quite a while, and it looks great. I washed the slip cover and it keep on going. I found a sofa that I wanted to share, the York Slope Arm Deep Slip Covered Sofa from Pottery Barn. It's really beautiful, and it's the kind of sofa that if I replace mine, or when I replace mine, I would like to get something like this. Also, you want to buy a nice sofa because it needs to be comfortable. And another place where you really need comfort is a mattress. This is a place that I am just not going to be skimping going forward. We bought an Awara mattress, and they're not actually a sponsor of our podcast, but it's organic, so it's not going to off gas, and it's very comfortable. And so I think that's really something, whether you buy that brand or another one, I think it's really worth it to get something that is going to be kind of a healthier mattress and something that is going to be very comfortable. So I think that's well worth the splurge.
No one really thought about that until fairly recently. You're face planted on this thing for hours every single day. And if it is synthetic, or it's off-gassing like you said, or it's just not a quality product, and so it might have some chemicals in it, that's just so bad. And if you've had something for a while, I guess that maybe, it kind of airs itself out. Mm-hmm. But if you are in the market for a new mattress, or if this sort of thing really concerns you, this is the best time to start looking around and get something that is sustainably made, without chemicals, with organic materials.
When I was a teenager, I got a new bedspread, and we put that on the bed, and I felt sick. I just nauseous and just very ill. It was the bedspread that was off-gassing. We washed it, and then it was okay. But
oh, wow.
The chemicals in that thing were, Lord knows what I was exposed to. These things are really, we just don't know what they're putting in these products, and they're not all safe, really.
Yeah. And did you just slip on your Kiana princess PJs and slide into that chemical bed, chemical comforter?
I can't remember what happened, but honestly, if it were now, I wouldn't bother washing it. I would just get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I just was a teenager. I think my mom said, well, just wash it. And I thought, well, okay. But I'm thinking it's still got all those things in it, probably.
Yeah. Well, not too long ago, too, I remember having an apartment where I didn't have a shower door, and you got a shower curtain. You'd get the plastic liner and you'd open it up. You're like,
and then you're stuck in the shower, with just those fumes are just trapped in there. And then the steam and the heat is just helping them get off gas even more.
It's a wonder we survived, isn't it?
And I think of, my friends would run behind the mosquito truck. I'm thinking, do they have neurological damage now?
Go home and swig back some Kool-Aid. The good old days. Okay, speaking of good, a good painter, because this is kind of a little off the charts too, like your front door. Something that popped into my head. Wow, that is so important, because if you don't get a quality painter, your paint job's just not going to look that good. Now, I'm all for DIYing, but DIYing painting, I really have to consider it. Also, you need to really set aside some significant time to dedicate to it in, a short span, because you certainly don't want to just leave the room half painted. So if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself and you don't have the time to do it yourself, you should look for a quality painter. Now, if somebody's going to come in, you get some estimates and they're the lowest estimate, that might send up a red flag to me. I would go maybe somebody in the middle or maybe even in the higher end. And I would really question them about how they're going to do their prep, because 75% of a good paint job is the prep job. So that's what they need to be doing. And that takes time, and time is money. And so you can expect to pay, a pretty high price for certainly you're outside of your home, but even a few rooms inside. It's not going to be inexpensive, but it'll be so worth it at the end of the day, because especially if it's cabinets or something like that, they're taking a lot of use, maybe even a beating, depending on the people that are living in the house. And if the paint job isn't good and the prep wasn't good, the paint's just going to start chipping off.
So true. And while we're in the kitchen, my next item is the countertops. If you're putting in countertops, I think this is a place to not skimp. To go ahead and get something quality, because this is something that's not only something you're going to be using every day while you're in the house, but when you're going to sell your house, I would say that is one of the biggest things people are looking at is the countertop in the kitchens.
That's on my list too. Totally agree with you. And if you're looking to put in a new countertop now, I would suggest, to be safe, particularly if you don't think this is going to be your forever house, keep it light, keep it sort of neutral, not a lot of veining. Do something that'll go with several different looks, because everybody knows what that green granite looks like and that brown granite. And that was done, 20 years ago or something like that. And it really dates the home.
Yeah, and don't go with that multicolored tile backsplash, whatever you do. There's a house I'm looking at, the backsplash, just for fun, I'm looking. The backsplash is so bad. I'm already predicting they're going to have to lower the price. It's a great place, but that stuff is hideous, and I don't think it occurs to people they could just paint over it or remove it. But it's bad.
Because our listeners are so smart. They know they could paint over it. But talking about tile, that's on my save list, and we'll get to that. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on tile, but let's keep going. A&R. So I'll give you a little preview into the savings. So we're still on splurging. Here's something that I think you can splurge on: art. We talk about it all the time. You don't want to get art that, is just sort of coming out of a factory somewhere and you can see it everywhere and they're selling it in all sorts of catalogs. Invest in some art. You don't have to rush into it. Take your time. And when I say invest, it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars. You can get a really nice original piece of art sometimes for $200 or less, or go to a place like Minted, where they're having limited editions of certain artists, prints, Etsy, all those sorts of places.
I 100% agree with you, although it's going to sound contradictory because that's actually on my don't splurge on this list.
See, isn't it interesting?
No, well, let me finish.
Nobody knows what's coming at them with us.
Well, let me explain. Because I agree with everything you've said. And actually, at first I had it on the splurge list, but then I started thinking, well, I mean, that you can do what you just said, but I kind of switched it to the other side in the vein of, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get some great artwork. Mm-hmm. So I have some links. So, for example, some Audubon prints that you can get on Etsy, and like a William Morris pheasant print from 1916 are two examples.
Ooh.
The Audubon prints are, I think it's a set of two 23 by 16. They're not framed, but that was $32.
Oh, wow.
And then the William Morris print is framed. It's a 24 by 31, but it's $105. So the point, I think, even though one is considered splurge, one of us said don't splurge, the point is you can get something really nice without spending a lot of money. But original art is fantastic too, but you don't need to necessarily spend a lot of money on that either.
Here's my last splurge. for today. Something that makes your heart sing. Even it's something that another person would think was almost silly maybe, or not something useful. But if it makes your heart sing, then treat yourself. If you
mean like my French transferware purple dishes?
Exactly. Something like that you're going to add to your home every time you see it. Yeah, you're going to get that little flutter in your heart. Or it's going to be something that makes your home so distinctive, or something that makes a room so unique and can be that thing that is just the wow moment in a room. So whatever makes your heart sing, if it does cost a little bit more, don't feel guilty about that. Now, I'm probably talking to myself because I was recently...
Did you just buy something?
Yes, I did. I was recently on a girls' weekend with my friends from high school, and it was so much fun. And went to this amazing little town in the Hudson Valley in New York called Hudson. Everybody who listens to this podcast would probably love Hudson. It is got amazing architecture. It's got so many little boutiques. It's got such great restaurants. We had a fantastic time. So we're going to do the town, and we're going to go have some lunch. You know what? Better day spread before you with friends that you've known your whole life. We go into this little boutique, and what's there but that mulberry, the black, flow black transferware that I love to collect. They had picked it all up at some estate. Somebody else collected it. And there it all was. And so I bought this giant pitcher. I turned it over to see the price, and I was like, oh, wow. Like on a normal day, I probably wouldn't have bought that. But I was like, it's on a girls' weekend. Not only do I love it, but I'm going to remember that this is when I got it and who I was with. So anyway, it should be arriving any moment. It was too big to bring home with me, so it's coming.
That's the kind of souvenir I like. I don't want a snow globe or a T-shirt. But if you have something like that, then I'm all in.
Yeah, my mom went on vacation. All I got was this transferware plate.
That would be great for me.
Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. but only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com.
Okay, so we're going to switch over, since that was your last splurge item, we're going to switch over to the save money on these items.
Yes.
So my next item is children's furniture. Now, I was so excited when the children...
They don't need furniture. They're so small. They can sit on the floor.
They could just sit on a plastic chair. Well, when my kids were little, I wanted some beautiful furniture for their rooms, and they just didn't have it then. Now, there's so many beautiful pieces that you can buy with Pottery Barn and Restoration Hardware. They have some amazing things. And if you don't mind throwing your money away, go for it. Fill those rooms. They'll be gorgeous. But in 5 years, 10 years, whatever, they're going to be too big for it. And that $1,000 crib, in a few years, you're going to be...
I wish you were talking to me years and years ago, because I spent so much money on their cribs. I went crazy. Did you? Yeah, because I had my girls just when it was started. It was like, just the beginning of being really cool to be pregnant.
Oh.
And like the baby stuff, I forget what it was called. It was like this super cool maternity shop opened up online.
Oh, yeah. And they had, because exactly.
And I was working then, and I was spending money, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to court. I have to look good, and then I went crazy with the crib.
The Pea in the Pod, was it that? I think that's what the store was here a long time ago. Yeah.
No, I remember that one, but this was definitely cool. Pea in the Pod, I'm not sure. This was very cool. It was very cool, I would say. But and I went nuts with it. I didn't buy the cribs from them, but I was like, oh, yes, we're going to have all this. Like she was going to sleep, the two of them. I spend money on the next one too.
You did? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the second one got a sheet on the crib. Like a new fitted sheet. Enjoy.
It's all yours.
Well, I sewed bumper pads. I made a little comforter and the ruffle cover for the mattress. And I spent so much time sewing all of that. And, then you don't end up putting it in there because they're spitting up or this or that. And then you're just like, why did I do all that? I don't know. Well, we did a big Winnie the Pooh mural. My mom and I hand painted a mural all over the wall, which then, got painted over.
Oh, but that's sweet.
No, that was a fun thing to do. So I'm, if you have money to burn and you want to do it, there's no criticism. You're going to be done with it pretty quickly, and you're not going to get anything for it when you sell it, sadly.
I think people are doing nursery smarter now too. It's not so cutesy. It's not, I'm sorry to say, it's not Winnie the Pooh. They're doing something that kind of grows with the child, right? Okay, rugs. I really think you don't have to spend a lot of money on rugs. I don't spend a lot of money on rugs. My rugs look really nice, and I have 3 dogs. E-sale rugs, I love the quality that I have gotten from those. I have about 3 or 4 rugs from them. And I do not like the idea of anything going to a landfill, but if you're spent $200 on a 8x10 or 9x12 rug, and you do have 3 dogs, just, go with me on this for a minute. Things happen. If you have to get rid of it, you're not getting rid of a $5,000 rug or having to have professional people come in and clean it and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I just think there's such a great variety. Now, I do want to say that some of the rugs are very synthetic, so you do have to be careful of that. You kind of have to take that in the balance, but they're pretty easy to clean. But there are a lot of wool rugs now that are not that expensive either, because now they can be machine made and whatnot. So I think that you can save on rugs, and of course you can go with a sisal or polypropylene sisal look, which is very easy to clean, and that's going to look great. Anytime you put a sisal down, it's going to really work with just about any decor. And the price points are pretty terrific.
Well, I agree with you on that too. And I think you don't want a cheap looking rug. So that's my caveat, to be careful. Mm-hmm. If you're not spending a lot of money on it, you're going to have to be very careful not to get a cheap looking rug. But I agree with you that you can get a pretty nice looking rug for a very reasonable price. And for example, I'm going to link to my Amazon recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
And there's several rugs on there, but I just chose one to link to here. That is a really beautiful blue 6x9 wool rug. It has a lot of other colors in it. It's 60% off right now, and that means it's actually less than $250. A 6x9 wool rug. And along the lines, I also think it's nice to have very nice pillows. But again, you don't need to spend a lot of money to get beautiful pillows. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And so I found one on Amazon that's a beautiful linen and cotton blend, blue and white, floral pillow that's linen and cotton, 18 by 18 for about $10. So it's the cover only, but that's not bad.
No, that's very good. And I agree about the pillows. Etsy's a great place to get pillows as well. And I must mention my friend Julie, who listens, she took the tip, my sneaky tip about getting the large Schumacher swatches.
Yes.
And she made a pillow, and I think it would have been her first sewing job. I'm so proud of you, Julie. Hardware. You don't have to spend a lot for hardware. It adds up because there's a lot of drawers and a lot of cabinets. And if you're spending upwards of $50 a pull or a knob, that adds up really quickly. There's beautiful hardware out there. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say for every finish, go to the Home Depot aisle, but I'm telling you, if you want to go really basic, and they seem to always have a lot of oil rub bronze or the black, if you're interested in those finishes, I'd start there and work your way up, right? And then you can see, okay, what does this cost and what is this? Top Knob is a really nice mid-priced company. They produce beautiful things. And when a higher end company makes a certain design, it doesn't take so long for it to trickle down. And hey, look, it's metal most of the time. It's rare that a pull is something else. Sometimes you see a little leather or something like that. But most of them, I would say 95% of the knobs or the pulls are going to be metal. It's not like it's going to break. So you can really save a lot of money. And even if you want a specialty finish, you can probably find most of them. Certainly the brushed silver, unlacquered brass is showing up at a much lower price point now because, the lower price companies are seeing what the higher end companies are doing and sort of copying them. So if you see something that you like and it's just too costly, spend the time to look around. Try D Lawless. We love that company. They offer so many different types of finishes and styles, and their prices are amazing.
I'm right there with you on that. I think you can really save some money on those pulls, and the selection is so much bigger now than it used to be, and so many different finishes.
Another place you can save is accent chairs. An accent chair may not even be used that often. Maybe it's that wonderful little reading corner or nook that you made for yourself and you never sit there anyway because you're busy. But it just looks great. Or you get an accent chair in a pop color or really fun pattern that, hey, you may tire of. Well, if the chair was about $300, you don't feel so bad about that. And you don't have to put it in a landfill. Please don't. Gift it. Donate it. There are so many places that you can get a really nice looking accent chair for about somewhere between $250 to $350.
Yes, absolutely. The chairs are such a reasonable price. And I did a blog post on things to splurge on and things not to splurge on, and I'll include links to those in our show notes.
Terrific. Do we have a DTT define for today?
Yes, I thought today we would cover dental molding. So that is rectangular tooth-shaped blocks spaced at equal intervals along a cornice molding. And it's dental, DENTIL, but it actually...
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it actually refers to the look of teeth, which is DENTAL. So even though it's not spelled the same, it is supposed to remind you of teeth. And that's how I remember when I see that. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like teeth. It's dental molding.
I would never known it was spelled differently. What time frame did that come from?
That's a good question. I didn't really look that up. But it does seem like it's kind of a 1700s look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do want to just harken back to my mention of Hudson, New York. It's a great little town. So if you find yourself in the Hudson Valley for any reason, I would definitely check it out. It's maybe a 2-hour drive from New York City. It's fantastic. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. My crush is the Traditional Home magazine for summer 2022. You know, sometimes when you get an issue of a magazine, you're like, oh, it's okay. But every once in a while, there's one that just really strikes you. It's just, there's so many beautiful things in it. So I thought I would share this issue with everyone. I don't usually buy Traditional Home because I feel like it's a little too traditional for me. But these homes were stunning. And there's one there in particular that has Anita written all over it. So like on page 34, there's this Chicago Georgian home. It's a new build that you would never know was new. The entry to that home is just stunning. I was taking in all the aspects of it and thinking, oh my gosh, if I only had an entry big enough to have a pedestal table, I would love that. And then there's a Dallas home, and this is the one I think Anita would love. It's absolutely beautiful. The living room is stunning, and it's just got this beautiful blue, which shows you how the flow works when you bring in an accent color, which we really talk about often. It's done so well in this home. So if you get this issue, definitely check out those two. And then there's a beach, air quotes, bungalow. This is no bungalow that I've ever seen. Absolutely stunning. And they're all so different, but it's a great issue. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, I've got to go check that one out.
Yeah, you're going to like it. Do you get that magazine?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I was traveling, so I was at the airport, and they had the saddest selection of magazines. I couldn't believe it. I mean, there was just nothing. And so I was like, oh, well, let me get the Traditional Home, because it was really the only thing that was anywhere within the realm of what I was looking for. But I really enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. Well, my crush is much more pedestrian. Weck canning jars. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen these?
Oh, I know what a canning jar is.
Weck is a German company that's been around for about 100 years. And this is a particular style, but I use these jars to make my yogurt in, but they'd be great for anything because I like storing food in glass. And these are all glass. So it's
Oh, we know you do.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just the best. It's really one of the safest ways to store your food. So you don't have to worry about BPA or any other chemicals leaching into your food. So these, they're kind of decorative. I mean, it says Weck on the front of it, and then they have glass lids. So there's one of those rubber rings. So that when the glass lid sits on it, it's not touching the glass of the jar. And then it's got two clamps, a clamp that goes on each side that's completely removable. So it's not like the clamp down jars that has just one clamp on the side. These are just small little clamps that,
I think I have, I don't know if it's that brand, but I have some vintage, because I just have this obsession with jars. So I have a few vintage ones that have the glass top, and it is that one big clamp that, kind of like.
Oh, no, yeah. So this isn't the one big clamp. It's two tiny little clamps that just pop all the way off. That big clamp stays on,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
These are these small little clamps that come completely off, and they're only like about an inch total.
So would you say if you had leftovers, is it something you could put leftovers in, or is it more like you're saying for like a yogurt?
Well, they come in different sizes. So, I mean, you could, but I mean, it's a jar. So you really want to put something pretty liquidy in there. I mean, I wouldn't put a casserole in, obviously, but like soup you could put in there.
Oh, soup would be good.
Yeah, anything like that that's mostly liquid, I think. Or especially if it's something you want to look at. Like, say you had some sourdough starter in there that you
Just if you happen to have some
Well, because you need to know if it's growing or not. So it's good to have that in glass. So anything.
God, that was a giant failure in my life, the sourdough starter. I'm so proud of you.
Well, I'm not doing the sourdough bread anymore.
I know, but you did.
Well, I have. Yeah, of course.
You were successful.
Yeah, I just was decided not to eat so much bread, but I do love it though. But yeah, so that's my crush.
Good one.
Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. As always, we love hanging out with you. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.